Hey guys, it's Miharu, and welcome to episode 9 of SpyroCast. Today, my guest is Adamation. Say hi.
Hey, how's everyone doing?
I'm doing very well. So, I would like to know, what is your history with Spyro?
Well, it was the second video game I ever played. When I was really young, about around 4 years old, I remember playing Crash 3, and I remember getting this demo for the PS1, and it had Spyro the Dragon on it. Except it was only the demo, but me being 4, I didn't know it was a demo. So I would play around it. It had the first 3 levels: Artisan, Homeworld, Stone Hill, and Dark Hollow. So I played around it for a while, and some of the dragons in Stone Hill, they weren't even, like, the dragons weren't programmed in. It would just say text. Like, if you stepped on a little platform, it would just say a text of what the dragon would normally say.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing something like that in the beta version videos.
Yeah, and the music for Stone Hill was actually the credits music, I believe. And the music for the Artisan World was the opening theme music.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But yeah, so I would play around there, and it was funny because I would go through all the levels, collect everything I could, go talk to the balloonist. But as soon as I would go there, he would say, "Spyro, there's many worlds I'd like to show you, but come back in September." So me being, 4, I thought I literally had to wait till September. I remember it was around October, and I waited an entire year and went and talked to him in September. He said the same thing, and I was crushed.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. It wasn't until later where I actually got the first Spyro. I think around 3 years later, I think I was around 7 where I got the first Spyro game. And I thought it was going to be like the demo because I didn't really understand the concept of demos and full games. So I remember just being happy I had it. And I remember collecting everything in the first 2 levels. And then I remember going to the balloonist. He actually said something different. You know, how you just free 10 dragons and you can go to Peacekeepers?
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember going there and just being really shocked. And then I never beat the first Spyro game until years later because I never had a memory card. But I remember finally beating it and I really fell in love with it. I think the thing that stood out with me the most about it was the fact that, it was 3D open worlds because I was so used to playing Crash 3. This was the only video game I had at the time, Crash 3, and I think Medieval.
Oh, you have Medieval.
Medieval was just a demo though, but I remember just being taken back by that, and the fact the music was one thing that stood out to me.
Oh yeah, especially Spyro 1's music.
It was just so, it was different from anything I heard before, even though I hadn't played that many games at the time. It was pretty unique.
Yeah, well, that sounds really nice. A lot of people that I have on here tell me that they first played Spyro through a demo disc, which is surprising to me, because I first played it, I just had the game, so I just played it through that. I played the demos before, but I guess I didn't notice all the little differences and stuff. I mean, the big differences probably, but never noticed all the other details. I don't get a lot of people telling me that they've played Spyro 2 through the demo in... Wasn't there a demo in, Crash Team Racing for Spyro 2?
There was a demo in Crash Team Racing, I remember that, and there was also a Crash Team Racing demo in Spyro. But I got Spyro 2 and 3 through the Spyro collection they had. Had the first 3 games, ended up getting 2 and 3 through that. But I never really saw demos for 2 and 3. I know there are them, but I never really played them or heard anyone actually play them before.
So there are demos. So the demo in Crash Team Racing is still the first game, or I can't remember.
The demo in Crash Team Racing, I believe, is Spyro 2.
Okay, yeah. So that is like that. And then I think, is there a demo of Spyro 3 in Crash Bash?
There is, and there's actually this glitch I heard about a few years ago where you can actually access the full game just from putting in the demo code in the title screen of Crash Bash. You can actually play the full game of Year of the Dragon.
Nice. Don't
know how that worked out, but it's just a really cool feature, or accidental feature.
Oh, that sounds fun. So what would you say your favorite Spyro game is?
Okay, after playing them for so many years, I think they each have their strong points, but if I had to pick one, if I was stranded on a deserted island and only had one Spyro game to play, I'll pick Spyro 2.
Alright, that's a fan favorite. What do you like about Spyro 2?
Just the fact that, actually, Ripto, as a kid, Ripto used to crack me up the way he would, weld his arms and everything. He looked like a Muppet. It used to be so funny for me. Yeah. Also, I really like the different little side things you do, the different mini games.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know, there's just something about Spyro too. I guess it's probably because it's really the only Spyro game in the trilogy where Spyro and Ripto, they interact with each other, unlike, Nasty Nork and the Sorceress.
Yeah, you don't, like, see any of them until the end, and then... Yeah, Ripto, it's all the way through. Even though there are some people who say Ripto is the best villain, and there are some who say he's the worst. So
he reminds me of like a Napoleon. Like he has that Napoleon complex. Like I think he's the best villain in my opinion. Not like not by villain standards, but by how I like him because he literally does nothing. He's bosses his goons around.
Yeah, I know. That's why I think he's the best too.
It's just like it's just hilarious. And the dialogue in that game cracks me up.
Oh yeah, it's hilarious. Oh my god, the writing in those games just got so it was so funny and so memorable.
Yeah, like Hunter, do something. Hey, give that back. Oh, I tried. That part always gets me.
Oh my god. I can just remember all the NPCs and their different voices and how they say things and what they say. It's all just kind of burned into my memory and it's great.
Yeah. I think the most memorable NPCs from 2 have to be those monks from Colossus.
Oh yeah.
The ones that were like hi. That was probably one of my favorite levels in 2 just because every time I think of Spyro 2 I either think of Colossus or I think of Mystic Marsh. I don't really know why. Just those are levels I have the most fun with.
Oh, so you're one of the people who thinks of Mystic Marsh. That's cool.
It's such a. I mean, as a kid, I hated that level because everything in it wants you dead. But it's just so memorable. I think it's just all the different types of because like the enemies in that level were probably the most unique like enemies you've seen so far.
Yeah.
Like Shellphants and those weird kangaroo platypus things that would steal the spark plugs. And there's just so much to do in that level, and I just really like just running around. When I'm not getting killed by those monkeys hanging from trees.
Oh yeah, I hate the monkeys. Like, that level has some, like, really annoying enemies, because, like, the hitboxes are really weird and stuff sometimes, because you can... Yeah. I will always get hit by the monkeys, and sometimes even by the, like, the snail-elephants, because even when it looks like they're not touching me, they'll still, like, run me over. So.
I wish there was a video recording of my first reaction where, as a kid, I remember walking into them while they were, small. And then just transformed and just ran me over. It was pretty horrifying.
Yeah, that is scary.
Like the dogs in Dark Passage, just no warning whatsoever, just transform.
Yeah, there was a video I saw where it was just like, yeah, I've never completed Spyro 1 because I was standing at the beginning of Dark Passage, and when I saw the light go off and the turtles and the dogs transform, it's like, I just decided, nope, I'm not going any further, and like...
Yeah, that's a really horrifying. Just like, another thing that really stood out to me about Spyro is just it's a game that doesn't take itself too seriously, but like there's some stuff that creeped me out as a kid, like the Sentry Norks in Dark Hollow. I don't know why, that was just really creepy for me, the fact that just pacing back and forth.
Oh yeah. Yeah, some people have said they're kind of afraid of that, cause it's kind of a claustrophobia thing also. Like, you're in a really small space and you're just like, whoa, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, and Haunted Towers kind of creep me out too, where those knights would take off their helmets and just nothing's there.
Yeah, and then they just, ugh. That actually scares me a little bit because their movement is so quick. They just take off the helmet head and then they just swing it around like bam. It's just, before you know it, you're crushed.
Speaking of Haunted Towers, that was the final level I had to complete because that level would literally, like, no pun intended, but it would haunt me. Because I would always hear this one dragon. I would hear him rattling around, like the crystal rattling noise, but I'd never know where he was. And I think I didn't complete that game until I was around 11, where I finally got a memory card. I went through the whole entire game collecting everything and got the Haunted Towers and just stuck there for a while until I just started experimenting with the supercharged ramp, and I finally found that final dragon, final gem.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that supercharge in Haunted Towers is actually, like, really difficult in some ways. In some aspects, it's even more difficult than the one in Treetops.
Oh yeah, I don't really remember having a problem with Treetops. Just because I don't really know why. Treetops was challenging, but I never really had a problem with it. Like, I see other people saying it's like the most challenging level in the series. To me, if I had to pick a really challenging level, like throughout the entire trilogy, the one that gave me the most trouble would probably have to be that little demolition derby thing. With
oh
those
my god, I hate that thing.
I died so many times there. Like, it was just, vehicle levels in general were just really hard for me.
Yeah, it's not fun. It doesn't work well with your health system and, you know, you only having those 4 hits and the guys hiding behind the pots and it's like, you know, before you know it, you're dead because you have to get close to them in order for them to come out, and when they come out, they shoot you.
Yeah, that one, and I may have lied. That one, and I probably, if I'm like rethinking about Spyro 3, Spyro 3 to me, there was a lot of difficult parts in it because it was the only game that had act tuning in it in the trilogy, where the better you do, the harder they make everything else.
Oh yeah, it does have that.
Yeah, so like in the super bonus round, I remember getting there, and I remember doing like all little things, you know, running around playing in those thieves, which is really satisfying to get all your gems back. And then going to that little skate park with the Yetis and racing them, that took me hours.
That's not fun. I've never actually completed Spyro 3 120% because of that. Well, I mean, mostly it's because I can't get into the super bonus round without a cheat code. But when I go there and then I try to do that, I was just like, yeah, it's not worth it. Because I already know, like, what you fight the sorceress again, and it's not a very fun battle. Like, presumably, that's what it looks like. And then you get, like, an extra cutscene, which is nothing. So it's just like, it's not worth it racing these Yetis.
Yeah, it took me probably, I guess, if I remember correctly, 2 hours to actually finish that. I just kept trying over and over and getting, you know, progressively more angry with each one, but it was fun feeling to defeat them. It just, some of the things though, some of the, like, little missions in 2 and 3 just make me wonder if Hunter's against you or is he trying to help you?
Yeah, I know. I'm just like, Hunter, give me the orb, give me the egg. I don't want to play your stupid little crystal popcorn challenge.
Yeah, he kidnaps you, they kidnap you to their realm, and then they take the objects you need in order to save the world, and make you do little mini games to get them back.
Yeah, whose side are they really on? They kidnap you and force you to complete their frustratingly tedious chores.
I would love to see a game where Hunter and that dragon from Beastmakers, the one that's, I always forget his name. Is it Bruno? He's the one that's like, Spyro, it's great to see you, but I've got to go.
Oh, that's Cletus, I think.
Yeah, I want to see a game where Cletus and Hunter just reveal that they've secretly been working against Spyro the entire time.
Oh yeah, because like I saw another person who left a comment once saying that they thought Cletus was like really suspicious for saying that.
Oh, I did. Like, as a kid, I was like, this dragon's on some sketchy stuff right here. He just vanishes and it's so weird. So I just always assumed that, like, because it took me a while to finally get to Nasty's world, but I always assumed that he was working for Nasty North.
Yeah, he probably is, because the dragon that you rescue that has his name clearly is not him, because he looks completely different and has a different voice.
Oh yeah, I saw your video, and I never really noticed the voice changes. Like, they really messed up my boy Cosmos from Magic Crafters. I used to love how he would roll his R's, and then you free him in Twilight Harbor.
I was like, thank you for releasing me. What?
Was that whole accent fake the entire time?
No, that's my boy Cosmos. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah. It's like, oh, here comes Spyro. Better put on a fake accent or something.
Yeah, I was like, I gotta pretend I'm the leader of Magic Crafters to make me seem cool.
Yeah.
So, I haven't asked this question to anyone before. What is your least favorite Spyro game?
Out of the entire, like, everything that's ever existed, from mobile games to Skylanders to all that?
Yes.
Oh, I would have to give it to Shadow Legacy, just because it was just, I remember, I didn't know Shadow Legacy existed until I think about 4 years ago. And what really drew me into getting it is because, I heard that you revisited some of the old homeworlds, you know, from the original trilogy. And I was like, oh, okay, this is as close as a remake as it'll probably get. So I've got the game, and it was nothing like, you know, I thought, like, the music in it's like a drone noise. Like, there's barely any music. I like the idea of the RPG thing. It's just the combat in it feels a little forced, and I remember I was stuck for 2 years trying to do that little mini game with one of the Elder Dragons where you have to, on the DS, you have to draw a certain pattern in the touchscreen for Spyro to create a spell. And I remember drawing over and over, like, no, Spyro, that's not the correct symbol. And I just gave up.
Oh.
It wasn't until a few weeks ago I actually managed to figure it out. And then after that, it just wasn't fun like the original trilogy. So I have to give the Shadow Legacy. But if I have to pick a main console game, this is actually a hard one too. Probably The Eternal Night.
Oh, thank God. That's my least favorite too.
It was something about that game that just made me, when I played it, like, I played A New Beginning first, and then I got The Eternal Night. That game, it was just so depressing. Like, the story was depressing and pretty dark. The music was just so gloomy. It was really challenging and difficult and unfair. Another reason was, it was just such a depressing story. I remember, it just felt like everyone in the entire game wanted Spyro dead. Like, you go searching for a tree, you get kidnapped, and then you're forced to fight in an arena, and then I felt really bad for Spyro during the entire game. This is a young dragon, he has to go through all that. Yeah, the game pretty much bummed me out.
Yeah, I felt bad for me when I was playing it. I was just like, this is just so, it's really off-putting and boring and, like, tedious.
Yeah.
Because it's basically it was just like the first one, which I've also never completed. But there's just so many things about that game just put me to sleep, because it's just, why is this so, like you said, depressing and tedious, and yeah.
There was one part of the game that just had me just like, why would, I don't know if you've gotten this far, but it's after you beat Gag, you're looking for, I think, the White Owl or something. Spyro's been passing out, and you have those visions or those little mini games for one of your powers.
Okay, to be honest, I only played like the first few minutes of the Eternal Night, and I got so bored that I stopped playing. Like, that's why I don't like it.
You're not missing much. You can watch the cinematics on YouTube. Just the gameplay is just nothing but just button pressing. Just beat 'em up. It wasn't really a fan of it.
Yeah, I mean I played enough of A New Beginning to know like how the gameplay worked and stuff, which I also didn't like, and I didn't like how you couldn't tell where you're supposed to go. Like, your objectives were just not clear.
Yeah, and I didn't like how they rebooted the universe, because the classic Spyro had so many characters, and then they just decided to reboot it. Because when I first heard of Legend of Spyro, I thought it was something like the Ratchet and Clank future, where they start exploring like the characters' roots.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was something like that. I had no idea it was a reboot. So I remember playing it and just being like, okay, I guess it's okay to reboot it. But I thought there was gonna be like incarnations of the classic characters, but in the Legend of Spyro. But the only one they really brought back was Hunter.
Yeah, I guess that's one of the reasons why Dawn of the Dragon is, I think, is actually a good game. Like, that's the only one of the series that I actually like.
It wasn't so gloomy like the Eternal Night. Like, you didn't get far in the Eternal Night, but most of the levels are just so gloomy. There's like every Spyro games always are pretty, they're gorgeous to look at. They're sunny. They're not supposed to be depressing like the Eternal Night was.
Yeah. Just something about those games, like, what were you thinking? Why did they need to be like this? And, like, you didn't have to make everything, dark and edgy.
Yeah. It felt like a Jak 2.
Oh, Jak 2.
Yeah. And I remember reading some interview behind it. They said the reason the Eternal Night was so, dark or whatever, it was because they're trying to escape from what the other Spyro games had, the lighthearted feel. They're trying to, get more serious, which I think they never should have really done, because that's part of Spyro's charm.
Yeah, nothing was ever too serious. Like, you could have more serious moments. Like, from what we've been seeing from Reignited, it seems like they're gonna turn certain things into, they're possibly going for a little more serious tone to the things that were lighthearted before, but they're still gonna keep that charm, of course.
Yeah. And in 3, Spyro 3, I think, was probably the darkest, villain-wise, because the sorceress, she wanted to murder babies, which I think is pretty dark, but it still kept that, the lighthearted charm, which I really enjoy about Spyro.
Yeah, it's like it was dark, but you never really thought much of it as a kid, because everything was so funny and bouncy and colorful. It's funny, with the sorceress, me and my friend, when we were kids, apparently we didn't hear the part where she said that she needed the wings, like, for a spell, so she could live forever. We didn't hear that part, so we always thought that she wanted their wings because she didn't have wings and couldn't fly.
I think I first thought the same thing until I heard her say to live forever, but because I remember her throne, if you look at her throne that she sits in, it has wings. Just always assumed that maybe she wanted wings because she sort of looks like a dragon. Well, in the classic version, she sort of looked like a dragon, but without wings. So I can see why you would think that.
Yeah, so it's so funny.
Yeah, like I remember with my friends, I remember telling them this. I didn't say this yet, but when I was playing Spyro 1, like I said, I was really young. I was 4. But I had no idea what a dragon was. Like, I had no idea what a dragon was. I'd never, like, heard about it, read about it in a book. So I thought Spyro was a purple horsey with wings. And I couldn't read it, I think, at the time. So I always say, like, let's play the game with the purple horsey. And yeah, they've never let me live that down. Like, they make fun of me every day. Every time they see me, like, talk about something with Spyro. They're like, oh, I can't wait to see the purple horsey in HD. They won't let me live that down.
Oh my god. Oh, that's cute.
I mean, he couldn't fly, so I thought he was a horsey that taped some, like, bat wings onto him, and that's why he was only, like, gliding. It wasn't until I think, I don't know, I think I started watching Dragon Tales around that age, and I finally realized what a dragon was.
Yeah, and you're just like, oh, dragons are just big lizards with wings who could breathe fire.
Yeah, and after that, I became obsessed with them for a while. Like, I remember running around the house on all fours, pretending I was burning stuff down.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
What we did as kids. Very fun times.
Yeah.
Dragons are my favorite mythological creature. I just think they're so cool, and there's so many different types.
They're, like, I mean, you get the best of everything. You got, like, Tyrannosaurus mixed with, like, give them some wings and they breathe fire. It's like the best of, like, everything.
Yeah. It's fun reminiscing about playing those games when, we were younger and, like, not understanding certain things.
Oh, yeah.
I think I learned some words from those games. Let's see. I think Spyro 2 is definitely where I learned the word quadruped.
Oh, yeah. I've always thought she was saying, like, quarter or something. I thought it was, like, some form of currency. I didn't learn that one for a while, but I remember learning, some of the things I learned from playing Spyro. I learned whenever I would get a new Spyro game, I would always, like, on the way home, I would sit there and read the manual. And I remember reading the manual for the first Spyro. And I remember it said, how Nasty Noit he crystallized all the dragons in that live television, broadcast?
Yeah.
I remember, like, in the manual, it says Spyro missed getting hit because he was playing cookie. But I read it though, I thought he was playing hockey.
Huh.
So I was like, oh, okay, so the reason Spyro wasn't turning the crystal because he was playing hockey. Alright, I guess that sort of makes sense. Until later it was hooky.
He wasn't playing hockey until he got to Colossus.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people hate that minigame, or they don't hate it, or they just dislike it.
I don't like it.
I found it pretty entertaining. I don't know why. It was just I guess it was just funny seeing Spyro skate and then pick up the hockey puck in his mouth and just spit it.
Yeah. It was okay. I don't like that one, but it's a lot better than the cat hockey in Spyro 3 and Frozen Altars.
Oh yeah. Even when you freeze the guy you're playing against, like, you can still actually score him into, like, his thing and it counts it against you. Yeah. That was annoying.
Yeah, they really need to fix some of the mini games in Reignited, which I'm sure they'll do, but yeah, a lot of them need fixes because there's so many, like, frustrating things.
Yeah.
Here is something that I didn't notice until today because I don't know why, it just completely slipped by me. So that the interview at the beginning of Spyro 1, and and Aster is, like, talking, the first dragon that talks, and stuff. So, apparently, this completely slipped by me. He has a different voice, too.
They weren't really consistent about the voices, in Spyro 1. I noticed that because the dragon, I think it's Gaven, his voice is completely different, like, than when you free him. And he has more of, like, this, like, calmer, like, I guess, European accent, it seems like. And then in that one, he sounds like, Mr. Krabs because, Clancy Brown's doing it in the intro. Yeah, I noticed that. It's really weird.
Yeah. Wait. That dragon is, was that like Lindar or something?
Oh, Lindor. My bad. I should know this, too. I feel really ashamed.
It's really hard to remember the name sometimes. No, but, a Damon is actually, that's the one in Misty Bog, and that's the voice that Aster has in that opening cutscene.
Yeah.
So, I can't believe I never noticed that. Like, with the way I, like, look into things, like, all the dragons in Nasty's world and how I noticed that they had different voices and stuff, even as a kid I noticed that, and I can't believe that this is one thing that just completely just went over my head, and I'm like, what? How did I not notice that, like, all these years?
Well, to be fair, most of the dragons, they were, like, I didn't notice this until I was watching the E3 stuff and, reading people's comments, but most of the dragons in Spyro 1 were pretty much just color swaps.
Yeah.
But to me as a kid, I was able to sort of distinguish them in a way, but now that I'm looking at it, I guess it was just, he's got that whole rose tinted glasses thing. You look back at it through rose tinted glasses.
Yeah, I noticed that, like, yeah, a lot of them had the same model, and they were just, like, color swaps, and some of them just are completely the same, like Jed and Cyberin. Yeah. They're just completely the same model.
Yeah, like when I go back and look at gameplay of Beastmakers, whenever I see the dragons, like they literally have the same model but just different colors. I would never notice that until I heard someone actually say it, and I'm like, oh, I guess they're right. These are just color swaps.
Yeah, so that's something that I'm really looking forward to in Reignited, just seeing all the dragons with their unique models. Did you see that the new merchandise that was found with the little the pin set?
I don't think I've seen that yet. Was it with the notebook? The Spyro Reignited notebook?
I think it was on the same page, like on Extra Life, where they found it. I think that was listed alongside it. But
I have to check it out. I'm really happy about all the merch that's being released. I really hope, I'm pretty sure they will, but when they make a Spyro, like a new Spyro game after, Reignited Trilogy success, I really hope they continue to release more merch.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that, because with all the Crash merchandise that's coming out now, I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's like how it should have been back then with all the new stuff. But yeah, the pin set, it has Spyro, Sparks, and then it has a bunch of dragons, and some of them we've never seen before.
Yeah. So, did you ever have any ideals or hopes for what a true Spyro 4 game would be?
Honestly, I really didn't. I can't think of exactly what they could do. All I can hope for is that they just create something that's their vision, like, of their own. Maybe throw in a little bit of Enter the Dragonfly stuff, because there were some good ideas in that, but if they can, I
like Thieves' Den.
Yeah, Thieves' Den is great.
Yeah, that was because I was wondering, I was like, they have to have a place where they come from, and that that was pretty cool.
Yeah, so, yeah, they have, the level ideas and stuff, so either they just, remake that game and, like, improve on it, like, a lot, or they make a completely new game and just sprinkle in some little details that Enter the Dragonfly had.
Yeah. The one, my main issue besides, the glitches and, it being unfinished, was I didn't really like the idea of every dragon getting a dragonfly. It just pretty much rendered Sparks, like, not unique.
Oh yeah, that is really weird. I mean, I never really thought about the story much, but I guess it makes Spyro more unique in the fact that, like, he has a dragonfly, and, like, only certain dragons every 12 years or whatever can get a dragonfly. That's probably how it should be.
I always just thought that, because I remember reading on the online website of how Spyro and Sparks met. Because I think Sparks was a larva and Spyro was an egg, and Sparks would land on the egg, and he would tell Spyro all about the outside world.
Oh.
And then it was on the official, I think, Spyro the Dragon website. And then two egg thieves, they ended up taking both the eggs. And when the dragon caught them, the eggs hatched, and Spyro's egg was red, and that one hatched with Spyro, the other one hatched with Spark. So they were pretty much best friends before, Spyro was, even hatched.
Yeah, I think the Japanese guidebook says something about that too. too. It has the little
Oh,
story in the beginning.
Yeah. So the fact that Inner Dragonfly was just giving like every dragon hatchling a dragonfly, I was just like, oh, that kind of takes away from the story.
Yeah, it's just like, well, it's like I know there are a bunch of baby dragons that we rescued in Spyro 3, but it's like, do they really all need dragonflies? Because that's just a little too much.
Yeah. And I guess my problem with the Hero's Tale was, I mean, I could probably look past all the voices changing. It's just the fact that it seems like the entire Dragon Kingdom itself had changed. There's no portals anymore. No,
Yeah, it was more a very, open world type of thing. It was very much like Jak and Daxter.
It's funny because I think I was talking with a Canadian guy the other day, and everyone, like, I agree too. Everyone says that A Hero's Tale is pretty much like, Jak and Daxter Precursor Legacy. I remember listening to this podcast a while back with it was a roast session with Insomniac and Naughty Dog, and they were just friendly, just very like, they were roasting each other's games, but like a friendly sense.
Yeah.
And Ted Price went up to talk about the Precursor Legacy. I think this was before Jak 2 it came out, so I think this had to be like maybe 2002 or so. But Ted was going, he was like, so I'm running around playing Jak and Daxter the Precursor Legacy. I'm collecting these orbs, and then I'm just doing these missions and going to different levels and everything. And I realized this is just pretty much Spyro 2 reskin. And I was like, now every time I go through and play the Precursor Legacy, I always just think of that. And I'm like, I guess he's kind of right. Because there's even a mini game where you're herding a group of those yak owls. You're herding them into the pit, which is really similar to the one in Spyro 2 and Zephyr.
Yeah, and then there's even that fishing mini game that's like pretty much just the one in Idle Springs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against that. Like, I mean, it was cool and all, but I just thought it was really ironic and funny how A Hero's Tale it's like, oh, you copy us, then we'll copy you, and like A Hero's Tale was pretty much copied the Precursor Legacy, like with the platform thing where you jump on the platforms, and however long you stay on there, it causes another platform to rotate, which is like the exact same puzzle in the Precursor Legacy.
Yeah, and also also like the way you like you swing on poles and stuff like that.
Oh yes, yeah, I can't believe I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I guess.
Okay, go on.
I guess other than that, I never really had a problem with A Hero's Tale, but it just felt like Spyro's a different universe. Like it would have been fine if they just would have done like a nod to the Artisan's homeworld or something, but it's just like. Because all the Crash games after, the original trilogy, they at least, like, they show, Insanity Island and everything. They still show that. But it was like in each Spyro game after the trilogy, it was just like Spyro. I always assumed Spyro was moved to a different world, like each game.
Yeah. And another thing about the Jak and Daxter references and stuff is like the Sunken Ruins level. It looks pretty much exactly like Lost Precursor City.
Yes. And the fact that you would go on those, how Jak and Daxter would mask the loading times by you going on a platform and going down? Spyro, A Hero's Tale did that so many times.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe that I didn't notice all these references to Jak and Daxter in that game, but it really just is that game, but with Spyro.
And another thing that kind of put me off about it is, I guess I'm a purist, but I really like Stuart Copeland's music. So not having him in A Hero's Tale, it didn't feel Spyro. Like all the voices were changed and the worlds were different. No Stuart Copeland, and I mean, I beat the game, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I did, I at least enjoyed Enter the Dragonfly because of the music, but A Hero's Tale had good music, it just wasn't Spyro-y enough, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I totally get that, because, I was saying that I think I was talking to Mark about this, that even though Enter the Dragonfly's music was done by Stuart Copeland, it was like really forgettable.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't know, it was just weird.
The best track in the game isn't even in the game. It's an unused track, and I heard it while searching on YouTube a while back, and I was like, this is really amazing. It's too bad it wasn't in the game.
Yeah, if you send me that track, and I'll see if it's the same one that I heard like years ago when I was just like, wow, this is good music.
Yeah, it sounds like kind of techno-y, then like it takes off.
Yeah, I think that might be the one, because I remember hearing some unused tracks back then. But I really like the Thieves' Den music. I think the ones that are in the game, Thieves' Den sounds the best.
Yeah, I like Thieves' Den, Luau Island, but I really only like the last few part where it picks up, and I guess Oasis Speedway, just because it was just really, that was like the most like unique music. I like how Stuart borrows from other cultures, and Oasis Speedway that's some pretty good music. Didn't like the level as much, but did enjoy the music.
Yeah.
Because I was the type of person that would, like, whenever I got through 100% in the game, I would sometimes just play the game, cut the game on, play it, go to certain levels just so I could hear the music.
Yeah, that's, I hear, that a lot of people did that. They're just like, oh, I would stand in this level, it's like, just to hear the music, and,
Yeah, and especially in Spyro 1, when the music would change after you stayed there for a while.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. Every once in a while, you start hearing, like, High Caves music.
Yeah. Wonder if they're gonna, like, implement that in the Reignite trilogy, which I really don't think they will, because it would make sense with their dynamic music, but it'd be a pretty cool thing to hear.
Yeah, they could probably do that if, well, we don't know what the, this announcement is gonna be at the Comic-Con panel, because they're having Stuart Copeland there, and, you know, we're all speculating, like, oh, this, could be an announcement, or is there gonna be a toggle switch for the original music, or is Stuart Copeland just doing remastered tracks himself? We never know.
Yeah, if I had to bet, I would go with toggle music, because Toys for Bob has done like a really amazing job of listening to, you know, everything we've been, you know, sort of nitpicking about, like the good stuff and the bad stuff. So I think they will.
Yeah.
Because there's just something about the original music. Like, I've heard people like do remixes to it, but to me, like, it never sounds as good as the original. I don't know what it is about the, you know, classic music. There's just something about it that's just really unique.
Yeah, there's definitely something in the original that you can't quite replicate with a remix or a remaster.
Yeah. Another thing that was really amazing about the music was, like, in Spyro 1, it's like in this medieval setting. But, like, to me, you know, you would expect, like, you know, medieval music, but, like, no, you have, like, this really bass-heavy, funky music playing, that was another reason I fell in love with Spyro. It was just, like, it was just so different from, like, any other game I'd really seen at the time.
Yeah, it's funny because when it comes to video game music, for all other video games, I can remember, like, you know, maybe 2 or 3 tracks that I really like from certain games, and I'm like, oh yeah, this music sounds good. But when it came to Spyro, it was like all the tracks were memorable, and I was remembering all of them. And I'm like, just each of these tracks, it's so unique. It's more unique than anything I've ever heard in, like, any other video game.
Yeah, because, I mean, most video games nowadays is mostly, like, orchestra, like, you know, orchestrated music and everything.
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, when you go back to Spyro, I want to say weird, but, like, in a good way. Like, it's just, it gets stuck in your head. Like, I remember sometimes, like, I would just be, you know, walking somewhere, and I would have a Lofty Castle song stuck in my head for some reason.
Yeah.
Or Dark Hollow.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Dark Hollow's my favorite track from the first game. So pretty.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Adamation, for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
It was really fun, and hopefully I will have you on again sometime in the future when Reignited comes out.
Alright, love to.
Alright, thank you so much for listening, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Twitter, and I will see you in the next SpyroCast. Until then, this is Miharu, signing off.